morning, everybody. Well, this is my first video. I've been thinking about what to say. This is going to be the first video of COVID in the time... Wow, that was wrong. This is going to be cancer in the time of COVID. So here I am at the COVID testing center. This is my second COVID test in less than a month. Seems like I have to get one every single week almost, but I guess not. I've been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. It's a miserable time. What can I say? Going through University Cancer Medical Center, which is a National Cancer Institute hospital, one of 71 in the United States. The team is great. It's unbelievable. Really. As for stage typing, don't know yet. We're thinking stage 2. However, that might change tomorrow after I get my PET scan. Got diagnosed a little over 3 weeks ago. When we're moving this far, I have... Right now I'm slated, I'm slated for surgery on Friday, October the 1st. And if that takes place, then I'll do surgery and then 6 months of chemo. However, if it turns out that my liver, where they're a little bit worried, and the lymph node up here on my collarbone is also active, that's going to change things. And then it's 6 months of chemo and then surgery. So it's been a journey. I started showing symptoms back in January of 2021. I had been laid off from work due to COVID. Originally I thought maybe it just might be stress and anxiety. However, by March, I was experiencing a lot of issues and spending more time in the bathroom than out of it. So much so, I really had to suspend my job search because no employer would want somebody that spends more time in the bathroom than working. So at that point, started going to the doctor, and we started our research and trying to figure out what was going on, and did the whole GI thing and everything, and went through a whole process of colonoscopies and stuff like that, and found a precancerous polyp. Not that you guys are interested, but that's what this is kind of about. And that's what we thought it was. And my GI doctor, which is not the doctors I'm seeing now, originally said, "Oh, take more fiber." Great, thank you. That's perfect. Take more fiber. So I did that. Helped for about a week. And then I was worse than I have been. Just miserable. And I'll eventually talk about my symptoms. But that's not where I'm here right now. So, in June, I went and I had a heartfelt discussion with my primary care doctor. And this time, she said, "We have got to figure this out. Something's going on. Your quality of life has just deteriorated perceptibly." And so I started the search. I started the CT scan. and they couldn't find anything, but they found an enlarged spleen. Well, what is an enlarged spleen? Well, an enlarged spleen is not going to cause issues. However, it is indicative of something happening. And then, so it was a clue. The next thing that happened was got some blood work done, and I had an elevated blood count, white cell count. Unusual. Must be fighting some sort of infection, but I couldn't tell what, because everything else seemed fine. You'll find out what happened, why that's the case here soon. Then after that, I got a CT, or I got an MRI of the abdomen. And that's where we found the mass. And originally my doctor was like, well, you know, it's probably just a cyst and everything else like that. And I know she was trying to be positive, and I appreciate that. I really do. However, I knew the symptoms I was having, and the lab technicians, or excuse me, the radiologists, I should say, had put on there that a PET scan is probably warranted. As soon as I saw PET scan, I knew what it was. And that was actually for my liver, but it was also wanting to see what the mass on the pituitary, or excuse me, not the pituitary, but the mass on the pancreas was. So we tried to get it through insurance. Of course, I knew insurance wouldn't do it right away. We've been through this journey with other family members, of which I was a caregiver. I'll talk about her later. But so the PET scan wasn't approved. I had to go through the procedure. Had my biopsy about a week ago. Came back malignant and adenocarcinoma. That's what it was. Hang on a minute. I'm about to get my COVID test. Fun.
Hi.
Hello, how you doing?
Kenneth, good.
Yes, I am.
Can I see your driver's license?
Sure. Oh, how are you doing today?
Not too bad. How are you?
Well,
I mean, you're here. So that's not fun. But...
So, well, yeah, it's not fun, and I've got surgery on Friday. So.
Okay. Double whammy.
Yeah.
Okay. This first thing is just some information about COVID-19.
Thank you.
And then I'll have you blow your nose and cough into these tissues.
Oh, fine. Okay.
All right. Do you have a preference on which side?
It does not matter.
Okay. I'll just have you rest your head behind you. Go ahead and do the left. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Doing great. Just a few more seconds. Okay.
Oh.
And then those results should take about 24 to 48 hours. It'll be in my chart the quickest, and your doctor will also get those results.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me?
Nope, that's good.
Okay. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Okay, that's done. Beautiful Indian Creek campus here, and of course the outside COVID test. Oh, so where were we? Talking about everything that I've gone through. Oh yeah. Back to it. So had the test, it came back as adenocarcinoma, which is it's a specific type of pancreatic cancer, and it's one of the most common types of pancreatic cancers, but it's one of the most aggressive, which does not make me or my family happy. And so we, of course, embarked on a within about 5 days of getting that prognosis, I was sitting in the hospital talking with the pancreatic surgeon. He's actually the head of KU's transplant and division, and also specializes in pancreatic surgery. It's really, if you go to a National Cancer Institute hospital, they have to get you in. It's amazing in order to get accreditation. And I tell you what, don't go to your local hospital if you can avoid it. God love them, but National Cancer Institute hospitals are freaking amazing. They do things completely different. They get everybody in. This is the second time we've dealt with them. The first time was with my wife's aunt, and I was her caregiver for 2 years. I'll talk about her later. Interesting story there. But the National Cancer, the NCI and National Cancer Institutes hospitals get everybody in, and they get them in right away, and they start their procedures right away. It's amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. And so sitting down with my doctor, told me, basically what they're going to be doing, the surgery they're going to be doing. And, fine, I lose the tail end of my pancreas where it is, where the mass is. I'm going to be losing tissue around it. And I would lose my spleen. It's like, well, I wasn't expecting the splenectomy, but I guess because the pancreas and the spleen are so close together, they take the spleen as a preventative measure, so it doesn't spread. Okay, well, whatever. I guess that's okay. Then went to my oncologist. She's also specializes in GI, gastrointestinal cancers, which is great. And Dr. Saeed was very good. She told me she believes it's probably, from looking at it, it's probably in the second stage 2. However, we don't know yet. That's why we are actually getting the PET scan after it was denied the first time. Now that we got a prognosis and we know what it is and how we're proceeding, they did another MRI, a chest MRI this time, and found a suspicious lymph node up on my supraclavicle, right here on my collarbone. And if it has spread there, that's halfway across the body, halfway across the abdomen. It's a long, long way away from the pancreas. And so that changes how things are done. Instead of surgery and 6 months of chemo, or 4 to 6 months of chemo, it's 6 months of chemo and then surgery. Yeah. So regardless, I'd rather have the surgery when I'm strong and chemo afterwards. But no matter what, I'll have to do both. So it's a lot of information to throw at you guys. I know this first one is not going to hit a lot of people, and that's fine. The reason why I'm doing it for me. And I'm doing it for other people out there that are going through, that might have just recently got a cancer diagnosis. This is the first cancer diagnosis was my wife's aunt. And of course, my grandmother had cancer and everything. So whole big long story. When I talk genetics, I'll talk about that. But my wife's aunt had cancer, and I ended up being her caregiver because we had when I was ended off, I had a small severance package, and I took that, and it was a great experience, and I learned a ton. So I was in the chair next to her. I was the support. I was the person that when you're going through in the initial stages cancer, you lose so much. Your mind is still reeling from the information that you've got it. And that information, you don't catch everything. It's amazing. It's I think I'm fairly intelligent. I've got my MBA. Fairly well educated. But, education doesn't mean that you're intelligent, but, I feel that I'm fairly intelligent. And you begin to lose things because they're throwing so much information at you, you can't keep up. Or your mind is so busy dealing with the fact that you have cancer, and at the same time you're miserable. Your body is fighting, and so you're having symptoms at the same time. So you've got 3 or 4 things going on. Your mind is having to actively engage in a conversation, a very highly technical conversation. That's first. Second thing is you're sick. Your body is actively fighting this cancer. Basically, your body is rebelling against itself. It's a clump of cells that have decided that, we don't like it here anymore. We want to go. And how we're going to go is we're going to kill you. Yeah, wonderful, huh? But so your body, the rest of your body that wants to live is like, no, you need to stop this. Don't do this. This is not right. But that clump of cells has a lot of power. And so the body is sending every single thing it can to try and defeat that clump of cells. And you're miserable. Some people may be different. I'm miserable. I mean, yes, I still have a sense of humor. In this sort of a situation, a sense of humor will probably do more for you than just about anything. And I'm in pain. I have a constant level of 3. It's nothing I can't handle, but it is there. And that's one thing. Don't be, guys, talking to all the guys out there, don't be douche weasels. Don't be stoic. This is your life we're talking about. If something is so off, if something is so weird in your body, and at first you're like, I don't know exactly what's going on, I'll just deal with it for a while. That's okay for a little while. But if it's constant, if things are escalating and things are getting out of hand to the point where your quality of life is absolutely insane, don't sit there and be stoic about it. Do something about it. Because if you don't do something about it, it may kill you. If you do something about it, it'll probably save your life. And if you do something about it and it's nothing, take some more antioxidant. Now here's the thing. I know, another tangent, sorry. Remember, cancer brain. I do know a co-worker of my wife's, her husband, died of pancreatic cancer just recently, in fact in March. And when he went to the doctor had said, "Oh, you're just having acid reflux. Just drink more Pepto-Bismol." If you do what the doctor says and it doesn't get better, seek a second opinion. Don't just listen. You know your body best. If you're a hypochondriac, I can't help you with that. Sorry. I have to deal with that in my own family. I'm going to cut that out. You have to make sure that you get the care that you need. Take care of yourself. So guys, I'm going to end it here. It's a little longer than I expected. Tot ziens. That means goodbye in Afrikaans. I'm South African, so I hope to see you guys soon. I'll probably produce another video on the morning of my surgery, and maybe afterwards, depends on how I feel. But I'll see you guys then. Thanks a lot. Bye.